Hello again, boys and girls.
Hello, boys and girls.
And Cougar parents.
And to parents.
Today we're going to learn about equivalent ratios.
We're gonna measure a win.
Equivalent
Equivalent
ratios.
ratio.
Okay, we've got a lot of energy for this one.
Yes.
Let's get to it. Bye-bye. Well, let's hope that we can bring some of that energy that Josie had into our lesson on equivalent ratios. So equivalent ratios are simply ratios that are equal or have the same unit rate. Let's take a look at an example. I'm going to take a look at the ratio of 3 to 4, and I'm going to write it as a fraction. And we'll say that 3 to 4 is really the same ratio, or an equivalent ratio, to 6 to 8. And when we take a look at this, we can see what have we done to this ratio? Well, the first term we multiplied by 2, and then we did the same thing to the second term. Equivalent ratios are really equivalent fractions, and we can write them as such. We're not limited to writing as a fraction. We can say 3 to 4 is equal to 6 to 8. Once again, we're just multiplying the first term and the second term by the same number. And let's write that down. So, how do we do this? One way of creating equivalent ratios is multiply the first and second terms by the same number. Just like you would equivalent fractions. Let's take a look at another sample. Let's slide this up a little bit. Okay, let's go back to red. Okay, let's take a look at another ratio. This time we're going to say 100 to 225 is equal to 4/9. Now you might say, how do we make that jump? Well, I'm going to show you. Once again, now we're kind of doing the opposite of what we did before. Instead of multiplying the first and second term, or the numerator and denominator, we are going to factor. Okay, we're going to factor out a common factor of 25 from both of these. Okay, and 100 divided by 25 is 4, and 225 divided by 25 is 9. Or another way of looking at this too, if you're more familiar with money, 4 quarters is $1, 9 quarters is $2.25. And once again, we can write this in a different way. This time we're going to write 100 to 225 is equal to 4 to 9. Okay? These are equivalent ratios. Okay? Either way, these are equivalent ratios. They're equal to each other just as much as two fractions would be equivalent fractions. Same type of order here. And we'll even write this. We can make equivalent fractions by simplifying or reducing both terms by factoring out a common factor. The same way you would reduce or simplify a fraction. So there you have it. I think that is a pretty good start. So when you talk about equivalent ratios, we're talking about ratios that are equal or have the same unit rate. We can do that by taking a ratio and multiplying both terms by the same number. just like creating equivalent ratios. Or we can simplify or reduce both terms by factoring out a common factor. Okay, I think you guys are familiar with this, and that's equivalent ratios. I'll see you in class.